Vicky goes to visit Hermine and her mother after her encounter with Rose Dawson and Sean Flowers.
I had Rose when I was very young, about age 15. Her father was a man in his 20s. I was young, dumb and in love. After I got pregnant with Rose, my parents were furious and they had my boyfriend arrested for statutory rape. But they also forced me to have Rose and keep her to teach me a lesson. I should have been allowed to terminate the pregnancy. I was unable to finish high school and had to work to support me and Rose instead. Then as an adult I moved away from my parents and their toxic environment. Then I met Mark, the man who would become my husband, and the father of George and Hermine. He had a successful career in business and I was desperate for some stability in my and Rose's lives, so after only a few months, I married him. Then I found out that he was a raging alcoholic. But by then I was pregnant with George, so I felt trapped. I then had Hermine. Mark treated George like a prince and scorned both of my daughters. And, of course, you know that he blinded Hermine. By then Rose had left the home, so angry was she at me for marrying Mark. Then I found out she was a prostitute and porn star. I couldn't accept that, so I disowned her. And then George turned out to be a criminal too. Only Hermine has been the kind of child I wanted.
So you went from one toxic situation to an even worse one. Anyway, Rose is now dating Sean Flowers, the brother of Bella Sterling and the son of Deborah Flowers. It's possible that Sean turned to Rose for comfort because of losing his mother. And of course, Rose has lost both her parents. Maybe if you had been more tolerant of Rose, she wouldn't have become a sex worker.
Rose told me that Mark had molested her as a teen and I didn't believe her. Maybe if I had, Hermine would not be blind now. This is all my fault.
Mother, I don't blame you for what happened to me. That's all on Father. And as for Rose, she is still my sister. Maybe it is not too late to repair our relationship with her. My mother was a prostitute and made my life a living hell when I was a little girl. I don't think you should have that kind of corruption in your life. Nor should Sean Flowers.
Bella, why have you asked to see me?
I found out what you have been doing when you go out all the time. You've been dating a prostitute, haven't you?
What? How did you find out?
I was sent this pic of you and her. Sean Flowers, you have disgraced our family.
Now hold on. Considering some of the things you have done in your life, who are you to judge me?
It's true that Eric and I made mistakes as teens. Like when we ran away from my mother to stay with Eric's uncle in a cave. But we learned from those, and when Linda gets older, we will teach her about them so she won't repeat them. But even I would never be a prostitute or have a friend who is one. And yet you have one as your girlfriend.
Sean, Bella and I took you in because we felt sorry for you after you and Bella lost your mother. And this is how you repay us? You have clearly worn out your welcome. Go live with that prostitute if you love her more than you love us in your knees. Rose, my sister and my brother-in-law found out about you and have rejected me because of you. Can I live with you instead?
I was afraid this would eventually happen. That's why it would have been better for you to have avoided me after that first encounter we had. But now we must deal with the consequences. Of course you can come live with me,